Guys, just before this video starts, I just want to let you know about a giveaway I'm doing for Rend, the game key itself. Now, I am a partner for Rend, and they've been nice enough to give me a key to give away to you guys. This will end on the 1st of August at 9 PM UK time, so make sure you follow the description below, do all the prompted commands, and hopefully you'll be a winner. Hi guys, welcome back. Now today I'm going to go through the map which has now been released and break it down to anyone who's new to Rend. Now if you don't know what Rend is, it's a faction based multiplayer game where 3 factions team up, fight each other and fight an AI reckoning as well. It's basically a survival farm slash skill based game where each faction strives to be more powerful than the other, defend against the AI events which take place, and try to dominate each server. Now I've done various tutorials on this game for crafting, farming, all the links in the description below, but today is mainly going to focus on the map. Now looking at the map of Rend, you can see it's quite vast, but when it's broken down into 3 sections for the Order, Conclave and Revenant, you can see that everything is completely equal, so all 3 factions have the same resources effectively as each other to prepare for the reckoning and raiding each other. Now bear in mind each faction's area of the map is exactly the same and completely identical. They all have the same sections of land, so now I'm going to break down and just give you a brief insight to each area. Hearth is the first place you'll find yourself in Rend. This is where your faction base is going to be and where you're going to build your first base, build your first hatchet, farm your first tree, kill your first animal. This is where everyone spawns in at the beginning of a wipe or beginning of a map when you actually choose which one you want to play on. Now, on this map you'll find various caves. Most of them are in Hearth. Now, the only animals you have to worry about are frabbits, grunters, yexen and the fangwolf. Now, as you skill up you will be able to kill these. Now, it's extremely important you take your time here, make sure you skill up properly, and also work as a faction to build that main base up and learn how to build your own little silo base as well. Make sure you get all the skill points you need and the relevant skills, i.e. clothing and research done, to make sure when you venture to other areas you're going to be protected from the heat and the cold. In this area it's relatively fine, you get resource of water and a large pond and you'll get loads of food. It's just a case of making sure you learn the game before you leave this area. Stagswood is probably the first place you're going to venture from when you leave Hearthstone. Now it surrounds the Hearthstone area quite well, so you will venture into it without even knowing. Be very vigilant in this area though, because you will find a lot of wolves. Bear in mind as well, the darker a wolf is, the stronger it is and harder to kill. In the caves in this area you'll find the ursas, but you'll also find stags roaming the area as well. Be very careful in the deep forest, because that's where you'll find most of the wolves. Now this is an ideal place to set up a little clan base or silo base for farming resources. There's a lot of rich ores in the area and there's also a lot of good hardwood areas as well. Hardwood is very vital as you move up the progression of the arrows and bows. In the climate of this area you have to be very careful at night and when you're up top of mountains, because it does get quite cold, which can affect you when you're trying to run away or fight. Now as you move into Mycofin, this is a completely different ball game. It's full of ospreys, festerwings, aladins and gluts. Now this area is seriously dangerous to go to if you aren't prepared for it. It borders Hearthstone via the footpaths and the Highlands. Now if you're going to go into this area you need to make sure you're very much prepared, because you can get disease, poor visibility and damaging resources. The water here cannot be drunk either. It is very important that you make sure you know what you're going for when you go in here. The resources are prickly thornwood, easily opens arteries, but it's valuable for crafting, so make sure you're definitely prepared for it and your skill level is high enough. Now I've been here a few times and it's never ended well because I'm not a high enough level, so just bear this in mind whilst venturing into this dark, dirty little area. The Highlands is an extremely important area. This is because the control points can be found in this area. The control points are basically forward advanced faction bases which become vital when fighting against other factions later on, but these have to be built up from that area. If you teleport to this area you will not be able to take your resources with you, so make sure you send advanced parties up there to farm and get the resources needed. Now it's an extremely critical area, but it's also a dangerous area with wildcats, rocks and hammerhorns in the area. In this area you're mainly going to find hardwood, gold, iron, all the main resources that you're going to require to progress even further. But it's very critical that you be careful at night because it gets extremely cold. There's also mystical water up there which hydrates you for longer. So it's key that you try and advance it as quick as you can to claim those points. Now if another faction takes advantage and gets one of your control points, you're going to be penned in, so it's very vital that you make sure you actually move to this area when you can, but again make sure you're the right skill level or you won't last very long. At the time of recording this, Skarskaya doesn't actually have a bio on the website. Now I ventured up here and mainly found it was just extremely warm. I heard a lot of creatures but I didn't actually see what they were, and you can hear in this clip here, you can actually hear them, but I think as it becomes apparent this will be an area that's rich in resource. If I can, I will update it further as and when it's updated on the website, or I can venture in there better and actually find what's there myself. Dreadfell is another extremely dangerous area. It's hard to see when you're in there. However, some of the resources you can get from this area, such as the Skyfall Iron Deposits, the Blood Orchards and the home of the Amphere Plam, prized with its spongy stalks or sturdy fibres, is extremely good for advancing in the game. Now within here there are venomous toxins which can actually kill you, so you have to be very careful. The Anchorix egg sacs can also burst when you're passing them. You have to be very careful as well from the Banshees and the Festerwings. The spiders also are very, very dangerous in this area. Now the temperature in here is quite mild and it won't kill you like it will in the Highlands when it's at night, but you have to be very, very careful. It's a plague ridden area where it's better to go in as a team to make sure you can actually attack and take out any enemies in this area. Now guys, I hope this has helped someone a little just to be wary of where things are on the actual map. Now I'll leave a link in the description below how to get an actual picture of this map yourself. It was done by one of the community members. Now this footage I'm going to leave you with is from the Roots of Frigrizzle. Basically there's nothing on the actual website yet to give a full description of what's up there, but from running up there you can see it is pretty brutal. I think it's going to be a focal point for some resources. I couldn't actually get a chance to mine anything because I was killed pretty quickly. I will try and update this when the website updates as well and when I actually get to venture up there properly, but there's more command points in this area, so this is going to be vital for the factions.
I go